So one of the biggest issues I have when I go out and I'm looking for used parts is I can't test them on scene. So now I get on the Facebook Marketplace and let's just say a computer or a graphics card, they list it for sale, they claim it to be working, and even then sometimes you try to ask for videos of it or just more proof, they send it to you, but then when you leave you take a risk. Even though you get the videos, it could be a video of another computer or another graphics card. That's happened to me once or twice. And then when I get back to the garage, it's not working. Sometimes you get lucky and then you're able to reach out to the seller and they're like, yep, I'll swap it out for you. It's a cool deal. And you have really cool sellers like that. Other times you reach out to the seller and they're like, who are you? I don't know who you are. They block you, and that's definitely no bueno. So I have an idea. And my idea? Glad you asked. This over here. This is one of those power station battery boxes. A lot of people take them to go camping, and that's kind of cool because I guess while you're going camping and roughing it, you can enjoy your hot cup of coffee and all that other stuff. So much for roughing it. But I was thinking, what if this is good enough to test a computer in the back of the truck? This just might check the boxes. Now this company, Vtoman, they reached out to me and they say, hey, you want to do a video on it? Check out our product, we'll give it to you. So they sent it to me. This is not one of those paid sponsorships, but they gave it to me and they said, try it out and see what you think, your opinions, and just give all the specs and all that stuff. So my thought is that this has 600 watts. All I'm looking to do is just to boot the computer real quick, make sure it goes into Windows, or in the case of a graphics card, stress test it. If this works, I'll be able to hook this up in the back of my truck, bring this with me, and test things and reduce the chances that I buy something that's complete junk. So let's go ahead and let's open it out. So this is the Vtoman Super Safe Life BMS Power Station, 299 WH and 600 watts, folks. I don't know all the technical specifications behind all this stuff. Just bear with me on it. And it's the Jump600x. Now these go on their website and I believe for Amazon for about $299. So this is not a cheap option. Yes, there are other options that we can use, just hardwiring your stuff into the your vehicle and stuff like that. But I'd rather do this on the back of my truck, and this is going to be a lot better for that. And then also every now and then we do take the Mrs. vehicle, so this is going to be a little more easier to kind of move back and forth. What's really cool, and this is my favorite, it has stickers. So we got new stickers for the cabinet doors up above, the instructions, and friendly tips. Do not disassemble, good to know. Do not expose the product to fire, good. Excessive temperatures, yep, will explode, definitely no bueno. Do not charge, use, or store the unit in a bathroom or in an area exposed to rain or moisture. So I cannot use this in my bathroom to play on my desktop. Good to know. And keep it away from children. So the little human will not be playing with this. So now let's kind of go in right over here, zoom you in just so we could just go over the specs real quick. So battery type, Life P04, this is the PB20. Let's see, DC input 1230, 100 watt max. I don't know, we'll have to see about that. I think that's for the charging, yeah. AC output, total 600 watt, peak 1200. So like I said, if I could get my PCs just to power up and do a quick stress test, this will work. USB-A, C, operating temperatures, charging temperatures. So I already went ahead and I opened this up and charged it, and it took about 3 hours to fully charge. So not too terrible, just depending on how long it lasts. All right, so let's pop this thing out. It is a little bit heavy. I mean, it's definitely not light. Comes with our laptop style charger, I guess. I don't know. The charger for the car. And USB-Cs, so that's good. So we're just gonna need the charger for that just in case. It should be fully charged. And let's get this box out of here. So now this is how you would charge it up, charge it in over here. The only thing I wish they did have, although this is not what I was trying to use it for, but it doesn't come with the connector for the jumper cables or for the battery like that. So apparently you're supposed to be able to jump your vehicle. That'd be cool, but don't give you the connectors. Parts sold separately, I guess. Plug in your car over here. It does give you the option, so if you want to hook up solar panels, so that is kind of cool, I guess, if you're going for campy purposes. Our 2 ports that we can plug in right over here, USB-C, and then our regular USBs, and then the quick charge. So we got more than enough. And what I like about it, we got lights. Gets pretty bright. Flashing. less flashing. I think what, SOS? So pretty cool. Now let's move on to the test bench and let's see if this thing will power up my test bench. So for the test bench, I got a Ryzen 7 5700. I think it's about 65 watts, and I think that's 16 gigs, maybe 32 gigs of memory. So it's pretty low right over here. But of course, we're going to stress this a little more than we need. And honestly, when I put a little test rig together to take with me, if this does work, we'll use something a little less beefy. All we want to do is just make sure things work. But of course, we want to stress this. So we're going to pop in the Chungus, the GOAT, the 1080 Ti, and see if this thing has enough to at least run a Heaven benchmark on it. I guess I got carried away now that I think about it. Number one, don't want that power supply plugged into that connector, and we don't need that HDMI. I don't want to be lugging around a huge monitor, so I have something in mind. But first, let's go ahead and plug this cable into the power supply, and then we'll plug it into the jump box. And this is what I got. 15-inch LCD or LED. I think it's an LCD, can't remember. But it's a 1080p monitor. I use this when I travel with my ITX PC. It works great. It'll definitely get the job done. And it's not big and, you know, cumbersome like a regular monitor. So now the way this works, it powers up by the USB and then uses a micro HDMI to regular HDMI, and we should be good. So we don't need this because it is charged. Let's move this over here, get that out of there. And I promise, once I kind of get an idea in my head and this works, we'll simplify this. Let's plug this into here. Okay. Not sure how you turn this on. Probably should have read the instructions. All right, now it's on. So I had to hit the AC button. And now let's turn this on. Maybe we gotta flick the switch the right way. Rookie hour. Okay. All right. Things are happening. Awesome. It's starting to boot into Windows. Now, while that's doing that, let's take a look at what the power bank is doing. Zoom you in. 2 hours. 2.3 hours. And according to that, we're pulling, let's adjust this so we can see it better, and probably pull the sticker off. Should be a little better. Says 85, 61, 84, 100. Right now it's at 5.2 hours, 99% capacity. It's only pulling 4740 watts. Not sure how accurate that is. If you guys know in the comment, let me know. But my biggest thing is, let's paint this scenario. I just bought this graphics card. I'm at the guy's house and I say, hey, do you mind if I test it with my test rig? And he's like, yeah, dude, sure. Okay, cool. So let's get out of this EA games over here. Now let's run Heaven benchmark and let's see what this thing really pulls. So from what I understand, I think the 1080 Ti, and I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, I think it pulls about 300 watts. That CPU is about 65, 75 watts, so we're getting close to the 600. So let's run Heaven benchmark. Everything just wants to open up. Sure, let's run all these settings. All right, so we're pulling 300, spikes up to about 320 watts, and saying I have 0.9 hours left. This is working awesome. Now, if you're asking why these fans are not spinning, folks, it is really cold in the garage today. It is actually 23, 24 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll put the numbers on the screen for those of you guys that have the Celsius thing. So this thing is only running like at 50 degrees Celsius, which is good because it's freezing in the garage. But anywho's, so it's pulling 300, 0.9 hours. This thing is working fine. We're able to do a stress test on the graphics card. That is flipping awesome. Now think about this in the real world scenario. You just pulled up to somebody's house or you meet somebody. You ask them, hey, can I test this in the back of my truck or whatever, vehicle, whatever. You plug your stuff in and now I know I have a good graphics card. And if it fails right there and then you cannot make the deal. Now there's probably going to be a little more hassling and different types of stuff about that. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit in the video, but for the purpose of testing things on the field, this is awesome. So I've been tinkering with this thing a little bit off camera, just running YouTube videos, just typing stuff up, browsing the internet. And so far, stability, this thing is working fine. The average wattage that it seems to sit and spike out is about 80 to 100. So that's fine as long as you don't put any load on the graphics card. You start putting load on there, then obviously it's going to spike out. And it sits around 3 hours around there. So I've been using it for about 20 minutes. So we're down to like 2.8 hours. So pretty good. So now I want to do another stress test. We're going to run Cinebench R23 and we're going to run Furmark, put even more load on this. See if we get this to spike up a little bit more since we're running two things at once. And let's just see what happens. So let's run U. Wow, Furmark, folks. Let's see if I can get this in there. 383, 385 is what it spikes out to. That's pretty intense. I've never seen, I didn't realize, I know Furmark stresses the computer like a lot more as far as the graphics cards, but I didn't know it was that much. Good to know. Learn something new. So now what I think I want to do is go ahead and run Cinebench. And let's just see what that does. Did I hit the button? Whoops. All right, let's try it again. Start. Ooh, we're hitting 430, 420. Let's get you in. 430, 420. The spiked up to 450 watts, and this dropped from 0.9 to 0.6. So roughly probably about a half hour if we were to keep running these tests. But still, we're able to stress test the CPU, able to stress test the whole system, and well, this thing lets us do it on the fly, back of the pickup truck, back of your car. Pretty awesome. So I'm excited to add this to the arsenal. This is going to be pretty handy, and what I'm probably going to do is just probably come up with maybe like a piece of wood or something to kind of mount this all together. They do sell a smaller ITX test bench that I could get for a couple of dollars, and I'll probably run an ITX board just so we can test the graphics cards, something like a Ryzen 5 3600, and that would be mostly for testing graphics cards. If you're gonna spend $200-300 on the graphics cards, at least this will give me some type of guarantee or a better peace of mind that this thing does work. So that's pretty cool. And then the other advantage is that I do go out and buy whole systems, and I'll be able to plug it up, use this little monitor like I have, and test the system. Make sure it turns on, make sure it doesn't go boom, bang, pop. So that's pretty awesome. Now, something I will say about the limitation of this is that it's only for 600 watts. Now, kind of keep that in mind. If you're going to go out there and buy some high-end hardware used, which I wouldn't recommend that, just in my opinion, unless you know the seller and some good rapport. But anyways, if you're going to go down that route, you're probably going to run into pegging this thing out. I mean, would you be able to test a 13900K system and a 4090? Well, number one, you shouldn't be testing that in the back of your pickup, probably with as much money as you're going to pay for it. But that is going to be your limitation. But for what I use it for, I like to go out, and right now I'm sticking at i7 6 gens and newer, and I'm between 6 and 10 just because of the price that I could get them for and flip them, along with 10 series, 20 series, and as far as 30 series, I think the highest I've gone out and picked up is a 3060. So for that hardware range around there, this is going to work out really good. I'll be able to test the graphics card, test the whole systems. Now, as far as testing individual CPUs, motherboards, and stuff like that, that's going to be tricky, but I'm mostly looking at this for whole systems and graphics cards. So the Vtoman Jump600x, pretty awesome. Obviously it's used for outdoors, but us tech guys, I got another purpose for it. It definitely checks the boxes. This thing is held up pretty well, and I'll provide future updates on anything that I've noticed on it, but I think it's going to work great for as much as I'm going to use it for and for what I'm going to use it for. I'll post information and links down below in the comments, so if you want to check it out. Thank you to the company for sending this to me, and so comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. Is this something that you would use if you're going out buying used PC parts? What other recommendations would you recommend to protect yourself or even guaranteeing that the product worked? And do you guys think this is a viable solution? If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.